Cowork just released and it's having its ChatGPT moment because it is absolutely blowing up. And for good reason too, because it's starting to do all of the things that we hoped that AI would be doing in the first place. Things like automation of the things that we do every single day. But the tricky part is it feels like there's a new feature released with this every single day, which can be super overwhelming if you're brand new to the space and don't know anything about Claude Cowork. So what I've done over the past several days, I've spent tons of time studying everything there is to know about Claude Cowork so I could explain it to you in the most simple beginner terms. So if you're a brand new beginner to AI, to Claude Cowork, this is the video for you. And then by the end of this video, you'll see lots of cool examples of how to use this and understand what this is overall. So quickly, in order to get access to Claude Cowork in the first place, you're going to need access to either the Pro or Max account. Then once you have that, you'll go back to the Claude website, press this download button on the bottom left, and then press download for your computer. Once you have it downloaded, you'll see these three options on the top. You've got chat, Cowork, and code. You'll just press this Cowork button on the top middle, and you're into Cowork. So you'll notice that this looks a lot similar to the normal chat, but there's some key differences here. The biggest one being that it can now work in a folder. And this is because it's actually a virtual machine that can run on your computer. And this enables it to do amazing things like working with your documents directly. My favorite example for someone to try when they very first start Cowork is to open up their downloads folder or their screenshots folder and have it organize it for them. You can do that by pressing this work in a folder button and then selecting the downloads folder on your computer and then pressing this allow button. Then we'll say something like organize the downloads folder on my computer. Then we'll hit let's go. And you can see how it said starting up for a second. That's because it's that virtual machine that's getting going. And then it's going to start running and figuring out how it's going to organize this thing. And you can see that it pulled up all the different files and information that's in here, and it's starting to ask us how it wants to organize it. So what's cool about Cowork is it will regularly ask us these questions so it can continue the process and get it just right. So for these downloads, let's have it separate by purpose and project. I feel like that's the most useful. And then it has this question about installer files as well, which is great. This is something that I just need to delete, so we'll just move these all into a folder so I can delete them later. So you can see it's starting to work on it. And you can see on the top right, it's going to create a list of to-dos for itself. So it can start running through each tasks pretty systematically. Another huge advantage of Cowork. And you can see that it completed and it gave me a summary of everything that it did. Yeah, and there's our downloads file, all nice and organized and clean. Cleanest it's ever been. I was never going to do this on my own, so I love it. I can start looking very easily and quickly at what things I can just get rid of on my computer and save me some space. So I can get rid of that installers file if everything looks good in there too. So you can see here that I've got 6 ways that Cowork beats chat, and we've seen some of those in that example right there. It had those multiple steps up there on the top right. It can directly access your local files. It can use sub-agents, which is really cool. I've seen this in action when I needed to go through my emails, for example, and it had to go through hundreds of emails. And so instead of doing it all by itself and taking forever, it divided that by 8 and used 8 different agents all at the same time to read through all of that information and then come back together to come up with a quicker response for me. You can also do parallel outputs. So that means it can generate Excel documents, PowerPoints, and just regular documents, which is really huge. The Excel one is really big, especially as a CPA, because you can ask it to do real formulas now and not just hard coding information into Excel, which means that it's using Microsoft's own formulas, which means that it's also going to be getting that information right because the formulas in Excel are right. So all I need to do is just make sure that the totals with those formulas are correct, and then I'm able to understand that most of what it's doing is right or wrong pretty quickly from that formula. It can also do long-running tasks without timing out. So before, it could run into timeouts because it's just running for so long. So if it's doing that email collection, for example, it would go for a long time with chat, but then all of a sudden stop because it's been taking too long and generating too much context. But with Cowork now, it's able to keep running and running as long as your computer is on and as long as you have internet connection. This last one, scheduled tasks, is actually a huge deal. It just released recently and it can really make things truly autonomous. So here's how you use scheduled tasks in Cowork. You go to the top left, you hit the scheduled button, and it has this important note that right now it only works while your computer is awake. So you either have to be working at your computer while one of these tasks are going or set your computer so it doesn't fall asleep. So we'll just hit this new task button on the top right. Checking your email can be a really disruptive part of your day, especially if you're starting to see things that aren't very urgent that are throwing you off your workflow. But the problem is a lot of times you need to make sure that you're checking your email to make sure you're not missing the important stuff. So what we can do is just have Cowork check for us. We'll say, check my email for any important emails that will need a quick response, give me a summary of those emails, and then draft a response for me to review. So this way, it's checking our email for us, we're not seeing the emails that are unimportant, and it's also giving us a response that we can give back to the person who's sending the email, so we can just quickly review it, press send, and then move on with our day. We'll just change the model to Sonnet. This is just the cheaper model of Claude. And we don't need it to work in a folder for this one. And we want this to be every weekday at noon. But I want you to be able to see this in action, and it's always a good idea to test these before you just have these run autonomously. So the way that you do that is you just click on this important email check, and then you can hit this run now button. And you can see that's running right there. There's the history. You can click on it and you can see it actually running. And you can see this wouldn't have worked if we hadn't tested it first, because it needs permission to be able to run for all the scheduled runs. And the permission it's looking for is to read the Gmail email from Gmail. So we'll say allow, and we got our response, and it looked like this worked really well. And you can see it says this was sent from your personal Gmail to your work email. It's because I needed a test email. So it noticed that, which is great. But also it noticed that this is an important one that needed a response quickly, so we could quickly draft a response. There are a few below for my work email that it drafted a response for me, but I actually already sent a response for that. So that's another good reason on why we tested this in the first place, is because if you go back to this important email check instruction, I said check my email for any important emails that will need a quick response. I did not specify that it needs to be unread emails. So we'll update that. Save it, test it again, and then it should be good to go going forward. So if you noticed, Cowork was actually able to connect to my Gmail, read all of my emails, and come up with a response. And that's one of the other big features from Cowork, is that it can now do connectors. So we'll over here and press on New Task, and you can see how you can use these connectors. And these connectors are basically just different apps from across the internet that it can now interact with. And there are lots of really cool ones. It has a lot of suggested ones if you just hit this Manage Connectors button. And you can see it's got things like Canva, Gmail, Excalidraw, but there are actually hundreds of these connectors. If you just hit this plus button on the top right and hit Browse Connectors, you can see that you can connect to pretty much anything. And things that I would connect to is like my Google Calendar, Gmail. So now in that example email where I was being asked, do you have time to meet tomorrow at 9 a.m.? I need a quick response. Our scheduled task would be able to look directly into Google Calendar and then draft a response in Gmail based on our available time. It can also connect to things like Notion, Slack. I mean, you can just look through all of these. There are so many connectors here, so many cool uses. For example, we'll click on Slack and you can scroll down and see all the different tools that it's got. So this one actually can send messages, where if you click on the Gmail one, you can see that it can create a draft, get profile, list drafts, search messages, but it doesn't say send message on there, where it looks like Slack can, which is really cool. And you can search users and read channels. So you can kind of see where Claude Cowork is going with this. I imagine that in the near future, Claude Cowork is hoping to be your middleman between you and your work and all of the different apps that you use, so you can be as productive as possible. So once you select the connectors that you want, you go back here and you can click on what kind of permissions you want to give it. So for example, in the Gmail one, here's all the different permissions you can give it. You can either give it always allow permission, needs approval, or blocked. And that's with all of the different tools that we talked about earlier, with creating drafts, getting our profile, and things like that. So you saw this in action with Gmail, but I'll show you one more time with something else like Excalidraw. So we'll hit this plus sign right here, go to connectors, and then make sure the Excalidraw connector is on. And you can actually leave all of these connectors on. It should know which connector it needs based off of what you ask, which is great. And I'll say something like, make me a quick diagram that shows how scheduled tasks work in Claude Cowork using Excalidraw. So we'll hit let's go. Yeah, this is really helpful. And you can even edit it inside of Claude Cowork. If you just open this up, you can click on these items here and just move them around. Yeah, that is really cool. So along with connectors, Claude Cowork also uses skills and plugins. And skills and plugins are basically a collection of prompts that work really well together to get things done exactly the way that you need them. Things that you do on a really regular basis. So for example, let's say that you travel a lot and you rack up a lot of expenses while you travel. And you need to send all of these expense receipts to accounting and give a detailed report of what they are and what they're for and what the amount was. We would prompt it something like this. Hey chat, take all of the receipts in this folder and make an Excel document keeping track of all of my expenses. If there's already a tracker, just make sure you add them to the end of the tracker. Then be sure to include the amount, where it's from, and what the date was for each receipt. Before you start, is there anything else that I'm forgetting that I should be including? Then it's going to ask us some quick questions on things that we might want to be including. So we'll include payment method, that's great, and tax deductible is great too. We'll hit yes. Great, and now we just need to choose the folder where it's at. So we'll choose the folder where all of our expenses are at, and that'll be right here in my receipts folder. And it looks like it completed it. So we'll open this up. And you can see that it has all 4 of our receipts, complete with Excel formulas, which is really great. But here's where the skill comes in, because we don't want to have to rewrite this every single time, and we got this dialed just the way we want it. So in our example, I'll just delete out 3 of these rows to pretend like they were never recorded. And we'll tell Claude, save this as a skill so I can use this again in the future. And now it's creating a whole skill for us. So now all we need to do is just say, hey, I have new receipts in my folder. Can you please update the receipt document? So it's going to ask us some quick questions, and yes, we want all the columns to still be the same. Do we always want to select the folder, or is it always going to be the same folder? In this case, I'm going to say I want to select the folder just in case we have our receipts in a different folder. And I don't want to run any tests right now because this is just a demo, but that's always a great idea to just make sure things are running really smoothly with your skill before you save it. So we'll package it, and it's writing the skill. Okay, it looks like it's done. And you can look through this and just see what it did, but basically it just says exactly what we've just done. And it's saying scan receipt images in the folder and build or update the expense tracker, which is great and perfect. And you can read through the rest of it, and it's actually amazing at how detailed this is, and starts throwing in other information that we might not have thought of, like what types of files to look for and how to find the information on the receipts. And then if you think anything needs to be changed, you just hit reply, hey, I want this to be changed, and then it should update it. And then once you're done, you'll just hit this copy to your skills button. And you can get to any skill that you've created by just hitting this customize button and then hitting skills on the top left. And then you'll be able to see a list of all the different skills that you've created, including the expense tracker one that we just made. Then on the top right, you can also download, delete, or replace with the new skill if something needs to be updated. So let's try the skill out real quick. Hey chat, can you update my expenses for these receipts? And you can see how much simpler that was than the first time when we asked it to do it. You can see that it's pulling from the receipt expense tracker skill that we just created, and it's trying to figure out what's new. And it looks like it found that it had 4 receipts in there total like we did before, but it only had 3 to add because those are the 3 that we removed in the first place, which is great. And we can see that that Excel document is now updated with those additional receipts. And you can see the skills over here on the right that it used. There's the receipt expense tracker. And you can see that this would be extremely useful, and this gets even more useful the more complicated your prompts have been. And so if you realize that you're doing things pretty regularly within Claude, this is a time where it's a really good idea to say, hey, let's just turn this into a skill so it can know when to reference that and use it every single time you need it in the future. Lastly, you see plugins, and these are basically just a gigantic bundle of skills and connectors that all work together for various tasks. And Claude specifically calls out the usefulness of plugins across departments. So imagine that someone's really good at ad copy, and they're really good at knowing where to pull that information from across the internet with what's trending and things like that. Then someone else is really good at making social media posts. Then with all of those skills that they're creating from the things that they're really good at, then you can easily share that with people across your company. So Claude is automatically pulling from those skills within the plugin for the marketing department that it needs automatically. And you can see all of the plugins by going over here to the Customize section and pressing Browse Plugins. And it has all sorts of plugins built by Anthropic itself, and you can also add in your personal plugin. And you can see there's anything from productivity, finance, legal. We'll click on this marketing one, and it'll tell us everything that it can do. So it can draft blog posts, plan multi-channel campaigns, and analyze competitors. So we'll hit install, and then you can press on this marketing button on the left, and you can see everything that it can do. So like I said, it's full of lots of things that it can do, like skills. It's got these 5 skills that are already pre-packaged that they think work well. And you can even edit these skills to be more personal for your company. So we can hit edit right here and say customize with Claude. And then all you need to do is chat with Claude to get it to be exactly the way that you want it. And you can test it out over and over again. And then here are the connectors that you're going to need to make this all work. And then commands are basically shortcuts to get a lot of these things moving, just so you don't have to type an entire prompt. All you'll need to do is just hit /, then type in the command. So for example, for this draft content one, all you need to do is type in that /draft-content. Or you can also just ask it to draft, write, or create marketing content. It'll do the same thing. And then it'll go through all of these steps, including getting inputs from you on what type of content you're wanting to create. So you can see that the big picture here is that Claude Cowork is just trying to make you more efficient in everything that you do. So when do you use chat and when do you use Cowork? I would still use chat most of the time because chat still has access to skills and it's much cheaper on usage and tokens. In fact, Cowork can use a bunch of tokens because how it's working is it's pulling in those entire skill files and putting it into your prompt. And with the way that AI works, it costs more usage and more money the more information that you give it because it has to process more information. And the more information that it outputs, it also has to process that same information. So when I'm using Cowork frequently, I actually check my usage quite often. And the way you do that is you go to the settings on the bottom left, then hit usage. And you can see where you're at with usage with everything. And so it says my current session is only 10% used, so I'm pretty good, and it's going to reset in the next 4 hours. So it's just something to keep an eye on when you're using Cowork because it can eat through that usage a lot faster than the normal chat. Also, since Cowork is that virtual machine and has to start up every single time, I have found that chat is a lot quicker to answer your questions. But you should be using Cowork when you're creating and referencing files, when the tasks are going to be longer, bigger tasks that may need direction, or if you're going to be doing a scheduled or automated tasks. Because remember, those are all the things that chat can't do. It's only doing things from the cloud. This is doing things from its virtual machine straight on your computer. If you found this helpful, like and subscribe and share it with a friend who also needs this. I'm always diving into the latest on AI with all of the crazy updates that are happening so quickly, so you'll be sure to see more videos like this in the future as new updates come out. I'll see you in the next one.